We are over in the weather center today.
It's Tuesdays. What did we call it? PCR 2 Tuesdays.
PCR 2 Tuesdays. We're run out of a different room today because the great Heather Sullivan.
Oh yeah, she gets Studio A on Tuesdays.
Yeah, she's one rung up on the ladder than we are.
I think that's how it works. So we get to move around whenever there's other things happening. So here we are, forecasting with friends on a Tuesday. I'll tell you, you've been watching the numbers more than I have, but the two things I've noticed this morning is it's going to be a bit breezier, and then the humidity levels also kicking up a little bit.
No doubt about that, but I've got something special for you, JD.
I'm ready.
Because I know this is your favorite topic.
Okay.
Not only is it humid today and is it windy today and all of that good stuff and early voting, but today is National Cat Day. And anybody who follows JD on social media knows that he is a big fan of felines, not dogs so much. But today being National Cat Day, the Houston Humane Society is going to help you celebrate. They are waiving adoption fees for all cats, also offering a free microchip with any clinic service for all current cat owners. You could head to the shelter on Alameda Road today from now through 5:30 to get in on the deal.
You were hiding this story from me, weren't you? You weren't sharing with me that it was National Cat Day. And to be clear, publicly stated, I just think dogs are better than cats. That's the public message that I present concerning cats.
As a fellow dog owner, I mean, I agree. Dogs are definitely special, and the dogs are very excited when I get home. Jelly the cat does not really care, unless he's hungry. But
I haven't shared this with like everyone in the world, but there is a reason why I'm not a big fan of cats.
Okay.
It's because I can hear what they're saying. I can communicate with cats.
Okay.
I can talk to them.
I didn't know that.
They all tell me the same thing. Every cat that I've ever come into, they look me straight in the eye and they look at me and they say, if I could eat you, I would. Every single cat that I've ever been around just has that same message. That and world domination.
Definitely, I definitely know the world domination.
Those are the two things that cats communicate to me clearly anytime I'm around one.
Most of the time, Jelly is communicating to me food, treats, food, and all of that, and pretty much that. Sometimes scratch.
Little
most
attention.
Most of the time, it's just.
Hey, but I'm glad that the Humane Society is taking care of the cats that are out there, and this is a great opportunity. If you want to be one of those people who are taking care of them, this is a great opportunity for you to get that done easier.
That's right, and you can get yourself a free kitty. Now, you do have to go through an application process. I mean, you can't just walk in and say, give me a cat.
Right.
They want to know who you are, make sure you're not a nutcase or anything.
And you're going to take care of it.
Yeah, and you also, I know there are some, I'm not sure about the Humane Society and what their, policy is, but around Halloween time, there's a hesitancy to adopt out black cats because there are occasional, the people out there that are doing some untoward things with superstition with cats.
Halloween
and stuff. Yeah, doing Halloween kind of stuff.
Not so pleasant either.
Like I know growing up in South Florida, there were some groups down there that would do mean things to cats.
Oh, see, not promoting that
under the guise of pleasing the netherworld or something like that. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but don't hurt cats.
Yeah,
don't hurt them.
No need for that.
Today is another day of early voting.
Right, and I feel like we're starting to run out of days for early voting, right?
Yeah.
I talked with my son, who this is his first year of college.
Yeah.
And we got a little caught off guard with this, that if you're in college, you have to vote where you're registered. So if you can register to vote in the area where if you go to school somewhere, my son goes to Sam Houston up in Huntsville. So if you register, but he didn't register to vote. He registered to vote here at home.
Oh, and well, how does he have to drive back home to do it, or do like a mail-in?
Yeah, you're going to have to drive back home to do it, or you can do a mail-in, but we figured that out too late. We figured out too late to do the mail-in thing.
I wondered about that, about college students.
Yeah, he's going to. Now again, you can register to vote in wherever your school is, but so he gets to come home on Friday and going to do some voting.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, we've got it all. We got it all figured out. We got it all scheduled.
Good. Well. So some folks in news were asking about the actual election day, because we've been giving daily forecasts for early voting and things like that. But here is what to expect for election day proper coming up 1 week from today. Now this, obviously things can change, but this is the way things are shaping up, as it looks like we're going to continue being, in general, on the muggy and breezy side. Probably at least low 80s, maybe even some middle 80s, because this front comes in like tomorrow, ish, and sort of washes out. And then we're going to have that south breeze continuing with us, at least according to the GFS computer model. So some scattered showers and kind of breezy and humid coming up in a week.
And yeah, we're a week away from Election Day. And I am looking for another front next week, though, too.
Yes.
But it's going to be after.
It might be after this, yeah.
Most likely after the election. So the front that comes this week, don't look for a whole lot temperature-wise. Don't look for anything temperature-wise. But yeah, it's the rain that we'll be talking about with this week's front. But I think next week's front will help us a little with the temperatures somewhat.
Temporarily, I definitely hope so.
Yeah.
So right now, Bush Airport is at 85 degrees. The record high today is 90.
Oh man, I didn't realize it was going to be that tight.
Yeah, and so that's going to be a close call. We also, I believe, hit 89 yesterday, and the record was 90. So we're going to get really close to that today. But yeah, like JD said, the wind is sort of the story. These are all the wind speeds in miles per hour, and yeah, 15 to 20. Pretty solid out there.
Yeah, totally. It's going to be that's I think the main reason we didn't have fog this morning. We've had those foggy mornings recently.
Yep.
A little bit of breeze moves that air around enough that fog's not able to develop, and also I think will help a little bit in the afternoon with just kind of getting with some shade as well.
There's some clouds out there too that'll make it feel, maybe a little better. I don't know.
Speaking of clouds, I'm gonna have a little bit of a sidebar here.
Okay, yes, I'm
out walking the dog last night. And it's getting in the evening, and there was just like a hint of a breeze that I was like, that was like a rain-cooled air breeze. You know what I'm saying? That was that kind of breeze.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that magical because I can sniff out a thunderstorm. But it has a little different feel, that wind that is rain-cooled air.
Sure.
And I start looking around a little bit, and I look over toward my west. I look over toward the northwest, and there are clouds over there. And I'm like, those look like rain clouds.
Well, let me
right?
tell you,
those look like rain clouds. And I get home from the walk. I didn't have my phone with me. I get home from my walk, and
I sent a text to the group.
You were texting
saying, "Oh my gosh, it's pouring."
Yes.
Because we were at my sister-in-law's house because she had a birthday, so we had like a birthday party, and we're watching the World Series.
Yep.
On Fox.
On Fox.
And so somebody, my sister-in-law said, "Is that rain?" And I'm like, "No." Here I am, the meteorologist. I'm like, no.
I hate that, right?
And then, her husband, my brother-in-law, said the same thing. Like, no, I think it's raining outside. I'm like, there's no way. So I go to the sliding door and I open it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Because it wasn't just drizzling. It was pouring.
Oh, and that ground just soaked it up, right?
It was like, wait a minute. I had a 10% rain chance in today, but I didn't expect it to be, really pouring down like that. No thunder. But it rained for a good little while for a couple of spots. So if you fell into that category, consider yourself lucky.
Totally.
I'm sure there were some people who were kind of surprised. But see, that's the thing about rain chances, Like 10%, it's like, okay, it's not going to rain. Well, if it's a 1 out of 10 chance that it's going to rain in your location. So
a few folks got it.
And a few folks got it, and many didn't. But we're going to have many more folks that are going to get it in the days to come. No snow for us yet, but with the holiday season,
right.
I mean, look, Christmas decorations are already up.
Oh gosh, yes.
At all of your local stores and everything. So we now know which state is going to provide this year's White House Christmas tree. The honor has been bestowed on Cartner's Christmas Tree Farm in Newland, North Carolina. They definitely need that, right? The farm will offer up to 6 to 8 trees for the White House officials to pick from. The lottery to attend the National Christmas Tree Lighting is open today and tomorrow. I didn't know that there was a lottery.
I guess you gotta ask to go. I would think.
I can't just show up.
Not everybody can be there.
Yeah, but I'm glad they're giving it to North Carolina because they've been put through the ringer, for this early fall.
Yeah, good for them that they get a little something to celebrate.
Have you? are you guys Realtree folks?
Oh
or,
yeah.
yeah.
Forever we always go out in Alvin. There's a place and we cut it down in Alvin.
Okay.
There's a Christmas tree farm there, and we always go there. And since the boys were little, we'd have the hot chocolate going, and all that kind of stuff. And it used to be more the fun because you get to ride out on the hayride kind of a thing.
Yes.
You kind of go out there. And that used to be more of a thing or whatever. Oh, we're doing the hayride. But now it's just like, okay, it's just transportation. We're like, come on,
like you think,
let's get us out here.
When the boys are voting age, it's not, really quite as much of a thrill.
I've even brought my own saw on occasions.
Your own saw?
Yeah, because the saws they provide you are not that great. And so one year I was like, enough with this, and I brought my reciprocating saw. I
was going to say, now that's a rechargeable?
That's, battery operated. I just sort of decided, I think we're going to make this work a little bit easier.
We went once, there's a place up in Tomball, or that area.
I've been up to that one as well.
Which was pretty nice, and we got a Christmas tree there one time, and it was a fine tree, but since then we've decided that the needles are too much to clean up, and my wife goes with the pre-lit artificial tree.
Yeah, if you're going to go artificial, go pre-lit.
With the pre-lit. All right, so coming up after the break, controversial weekend, we fall back to Central Standard Time. Does that affect your sleep? Well, got some tips for you coming up next.
All right.
The weather is fine. It's not feeling like fall, but it's fall.
I'm ready to switch to our holiday mode, though. As we kind of dive into things. Coming out of this little break here, we're going to switch, and we're going to excuse me. Sorry. We're going to switch to something on the bright side with the city of Houston's getting ready for one of the oldest Thanksgiving Day parades in the country.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. The 75th annual HEB Thanksgiving Day Parade will honor the Houston area Olympians and Paralympians who competed in the Paris Games. Monday, organizers announced that the parade's Grand Marshal will be
we're switching.
9-time Olympic gold medalist Carl Lewis.
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Yep. He's very fast. He's not even going to ride on a float. He's just going to run the whole thing.
I wouldn't agree to that if I was Carl on that one. Parade kicks off on Thanksgiving morning, 9 a.m. in downtown Houston. Have you ever had a chance to go down to the Thanksgiving Day parade in downtown Houston?
I have not. I like to watch these things from home because I'm like a homebody, I suppose.
No, I get it. It's a lot of effort to get
it's a lot of effort,
Thanksgiving morning. I'm not, parades are great and all, but
especially since a lot of us are still going to be getting used to the fall back, trying to get our sleeping back on track and all of that stuff.
Yeah, this whole thing about we get an extra sleep, extra hour, it doesn't help with
because
the whole
when you
rhythm.
go and walk the dog, it's already pitch black outside.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So Fox reporter, she's great. She joins us most mornings with her health reports. Dina Centifanti from Detroit. She has a story now on how to adjust to fall back and the change in your circadian rhythms.
In HealthWorks, the end is in sight, the end of daylight saving time. While changing the clocks on Sunday may be a hassle, we might do a little better in the sleep department.
Get ready. On Sunday, we will have to turn the clocks back an hour to mark the end of daylight saving time. And although some might struggle with the change because it does get darker earlier, most sleep experts welcome it.
This change from daylight savings time back to standard time is the better change for our sleep. And it's not because we gain an hour. It's because we're going back to standard time, which scientists and researchers and clinicians in the sleep world and the circadian rhythm world all agree is the better time for our bodies.
Cleveland Clinic sleep psychologist Alicia Roth explains standard time, which we're returning to, is better aligned with our natural sleep-wake cycle. That's because more light in the morning signals that it's time to wake up, while the darkness earlier in the evenings helps our bodies produce melatonin to fall asleep. Now, if you struggle with it getting darker earlier, you can try adjusting your sleep schedule if possible to get the most out of those daylight hours. The doctor stresses we've already made it past the hard change. That's when we spring forward. And it shouldn't be difficult for our bodies to adapt back to standard time. However, she has a go-to tip when it comes to sleep in general.
The golden rule for sleep is never get into bed until you're very sleepy. So don't get into bed to try to get sleepy. Don't get into bed hoping you'll get sleepy. Only sleep in your bed. Only go to bed once you are already feeling sleepy.
Now, once we make that switch, you might feel like you're driving to work in the dark and driving home in the dark. So it becomes really important for you to get a good dose of daylight at some point. Sunlight really helps you to reset your circadian rhythm. So if you're stuck inside, try sitting by a window, try going for a walk on your lunch break, anything you can do to get that daylight. That's HealthWorks. I'm Dina Santafanti.
You know, I've never lived up north. I don't think you
Right.
have.
Oh, right. No. Yeah.
So it's bad enough here in Houston where the sun will start going down at 5:30.
Right. But you go north.
But oh my gosh, I mean, it's like if you go up to some of those northern states and the sun comes up at 9 a.m. and goes down at 3 or something, and you drive to work and it's dark, you come home it's dark. I mean, that's got to be just, I don't know, that would drive me a little bit bonkers, I think.
Yeah, no, those guys are definitely having to deal with the bigger issues as far as that. And I can see where people have a little bit more. Because for me, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm not really that concerned. If I want to lock into one of these changes.
That would be better.
I don't want any more time changes. Let's just pick one and go with it. But we will continue to see those changes slowly happening, as we move towards the winter solstice.
Yeah, so there's nothing you can do about it. I mean,
it's going to be happening.
It's going to be happening. It's just a matter of what time the clock says and whether you like it or not. Okay, so if you're having trouble falling asleep, we sleep with a box fan. Do you have a fan?
No, we don't have any.
We like it. We like the white noise.
A lot of people like the noise.
Yeah,
we don't do any of that. But I noticed in that last story we were just talking about with one of the doctors. She said that. Number one rule, don't crawl into bed and try to get sleepy there. You really need to be tired before you climb into bed. That is kind of a policy in our house. We sit up and I try to put my devices away and that kind of stuff.
That's the hard part, I know.
But I don't like to crawl into bed unless I actually feel like I'm tired.
Well, maybe this will help.
Okay.
Because this is such a silly story.
I'm interested to know how I would actually do this. But
some people like to fall asleep to shushy noises, or they call it brown noise or white noise or something like that. Well, what about KFC chicken frying?
I might try this.
What about that? Let's listen.
I have trouble agreeing that that's a soothing sound.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't as nice as I thought it was going to be.
But they're promoting it as a soothing sound of chicken frying in the hot grease.
So KFC teamed up with a wellness company. Really?
I don't normally put that together.
I know. So the wellness company is called Hatch, and they created an hours-long loop. The sound is available. You can go to YouTube right now. Go to KFC's YouTube channel, and you can just hit play and just let that guy soothe you to sleep. Of course, you're going to wake up very hungry and craving some fried chicken.
I'm already hungry just talking about what to talk about. But that's a good point. I was sitting here thinking, how am I going to listen to chicken frying as I try to go to sleep? Because I'll try it.
Yeah.
But then I forgot. Yeah, YouTube. I know people that do that. I don't personally do that. Pull up YouTube to hear sounds. Not usually I go to YouTube. I'm looking for a video or I'm trying to replace the battery on the car or something.
YouTube is fantastic for that.
That's what I'm using YouTube for. But I do have people that I know that use it for sounds like that. And so that would be a great way to hear the KFC chicken frying, I guess. Go
something
to the YouTube
to try.
channel.
I mean, I guess it's something to try. We went on a trip recently. Oh, we went to look at some colleges at the beginning of the summer. Me and just two of my daughters.
Gotcha.
So we were sharing a hotel room together, and so we usually have some kind of white noise, some kind of something like that. And we didn't have, we didn't like pack a fan with us.
Of course.
So we had our phone. My daughter found some kind of sound. I think maybe it was coming from Spotify or whatever it was, but it was like on a loop. But the thing is, it wasn't the same noise the whole time. It was like a rain noise. And then randomly, it would switch over to like birds tweeting kind of thing, like a jungle kind of sound. But as we're all sleeping, and like through the night, you start to dream, like, is that
I'm
really
in the
birds?
jungle, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know, am I imagining that there are birds chirping? And then so we all woke up the next morning like, was that thing changing from rain to birds tweeting all night or something? Because it was just bizarre. But I slept pretty good.
Well,
At least I felt like I did, to the sounds of the jungle. So, you know what else that bothers me before we go to a break?
Yeah, I'd like to. This is the time, Mike,
This
to
is the
share
time.
with us. We're your friends.
Right. It's forecasting with friends, right? I could be honest with you. KFC. I liked it when it was Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Are you not allowed to say it that way anymore?
I think they changed the name to just KFC. I don't think they put Kentucky
That's a valid
Fried
point.
Chicken.
If you were to go to a young person,
Yeah.
I won't name an age, but let's say young,
Yeah.
and say Kentucky Fried Chicken, would you
Yeah.
like some? I'm not sure they would recognize
I'm not
it.
sure. We could, maybe we have a few young folks in the newsroom. We could ask, hey, Bradley, do you know what Kentucky Fried Chicken is? Or is it just KFC? No, Bradley says KFC, and he's a young man. So, all right, well, that settled the argument. We'll be back with a quick look at the
That's how you sell the argument.
We're going to find some other young folks out there. All right, welcome back. JD and I are going to present you with the next 90 seconds of a weather forecast. And again, as I dedicated National Cat Day to JD at the top of the show, this graphic is also
Dedicated to the cat lovers that are out there.
to the cat lovers in your life. So we are going to be on the lookout for showers and storms. Look how he's frowning at you. See?
That cat has a lot to say. That's all I want you to know.
So it's going to probably be in the 70s, and then we will, watch for some showers. So here's our moisture level graphic showing this front coming in and getting closer to us for Thursday, tomorrow as well, and then heading into Thursday. So watch for showers. Some of the models are showing a little bit more substantial rain, but at a minimum, here's what we're looking at statewide. This is over the next 5 days, and we got those 3 panels lit up with lots of green. Not a lot of red, which is good.
Right. And so this is showers that we're mainly focused on. There'll be isolated storms kind of thrown in there a little bit, but this will be that light rain come and going throughout the day, and hopefully just a nice slow soak that we can get to help us with these drought conditions.
I sure hope so, because the last thing you want is lightning, out there with the kids headed out
yeah.
to trick or treat. So it's been a fun episode of Forecasting with Friends. I think we're going to be back in the big boy and big girl studio for tomorrow.
I like that plan.
All right, have a great one, everybody.
See ya.